There's nothing more uncomfortable than watching an athlete stay past his prime. You see it in the way he moves. Half step slower, fastball doesn't snap. The crowd still cheers, but it's nostalgic now. We saw it with Michael Jordan coming back with the Wizards, Brett Favre bouncing from team to team, and Peyton Manning. Yeah, the dude won a Super Bowl in his final year, but we could see his performance slipped. And besides that, the defense won that Super Bowl. Different outcomes, same tension. And at some point, you start wondering, is this greatness or just refusal? Here's the part nobody says out loud. Sometimes the comeback isn't about winning, it's about proving you're still relevant. Hey, I'm Kurt. I help men over 40 stop tolerating a life or career that no longer fits so they can get back in the driver's seat of their life. Or, if you want the blunt version, think of me as a life proctologist. I deal with discomfort, and you keep your pants on. So if you dig a no BS approach for all topics related to men in midlife, hit that like and subscribe button. Here's what's interesting. In sports, the decision eventually gets made for you, right? The body taps out or the contract dries up. There's a scoreboard, a final game, a press conference. Closure is external, but careers don't come with a final whistle, and that's more dangerous because there's no scoreboard. How do you know you're losing? I had a past my prime moment, right? In 2008, I got my dream job, five-star hotel in Hong Kong, and felt nothing. The same job I had been chasing for years, my dream job. I mean, I remember sitting after the offer came through, waiting, just waiting to feel something. Adrenaline, pride, validation. Nah, I felt flat. Not bad, not wrong, just quiet. That fucking scared me because, I mean, what do you do when the thing you thought would complete you doesn't? So I did what high performers do, man. I pumped myself up. I told myself, this is huge. Talked like I was excited. Acted like I was excited. Like hyping up teammates before a championship game. But deep down, I knew. I wasn't aligned anymore. I just wasn't ready to admit it. We talk about athletes overstaying their prime, but nobody talks about professionals doing the same thing. Because in a career, decline hides better. An aging athlete looks slower. Everybody sees it. But an aging identity, it hides under your responsibility. You're still competent, still respected, still producing, which makes it easier to tolerate. And toleration is more dangerous because it looks like maturity. And toleration doesn't wreck your life overnight. It sedates you. And it erodes your edge slowly. I stayed 5 more years after that Hong Kong moment. 5 years of telling myself I was being strategic, responsible, loyal. And that 5 years cost me about $250,000. But more than that, that was 5 years of shrinking. Confidence out the window. Self-worth out the window. I used to make decisions like that. But then I was second guessing everything. I used to feel sharp. Then everything felt heavy. The things at work I once enjoyed felt like a chore. And I struggled doing even the most basic things. That's when I realized something. There's a difference between being past your prime and being past your alignment. Athletes decline physically. Professionals decline psychologically. You can still perform, but it costs more. More energy, more frustration, more quiet resentment. When performance starts costing more than it pays, that's a signal, not a badge of honor. I mean, there are times I would just get angry for no reason. Could be a beautiful day, traffic moving fine, still irritated. That wasn't burnout. That was misalignment. Here's why high-performing men get stuck. When your career becomes your identity, walking away feels like self-destruction. I'm a chef. I'm an executive. I'm the guy who delivers. Not, I do this for a living. I mean, when I left the kitchen, I wasn't just leaving a job. I was walking away from 27 years, over 24 awards, international prestige, luxury hotel brands, respect, recognition. That's not a resume. That's a self-concept. And starving that identity felt like death. But here's the thing. If your identity can't survive evolution, it was never strength. It was fucking dependency. Your brain is actually wired to keep you stuck. You're addicted to the occasional win. One great quarter, one big win, one standing ovation. Just enough dopamine to keep you chasing the ghost of who you used to be. It's the same reason people keep pulling the slot machine handle. Not because they're winning, but because they almost won. Then there's sunk cost. You built a mansion. You've invested decades. And walking away feels like lighting it on fire. So you stay, even if the mansion feels empty. It's not money you're afraid of losing, right? Because high performers figure money out. The real fear is irrelevance, becoming the guy who used to, the former athlete, the washed-up band still touring country fairs, the chef who peaked 10 years ago. Nobody wants to become a nostalgia, so they linger. But staying too long is what turns you into nostalgia. And here's the uncomfortable truth. In sports, the body forces evolution. In life, nothing forces it. You can stay profitable, promoted, praised, and completely disconnected. No scoreboard tells you it's over, and nobody pulls you aside and says, you're done here. So you drift. And that drift is more dangerous than failure. Because failure is loud. Drift is quiet. And quiet decline, that's the most expensive kind. Because nobody panics until it's been years. So the question isn't, Are you past your prime? The better question is, are you past your alignment? Because those two are different things. You don't need to burn your life down. You don't need to panic, but you do need to be honest. Are you still building something that fits the man you are now, or are you protecting the identity you built in your 20s or early 30s? Most men don't stay too long because they're weak. They stay too long because the identity fed them for decades, and starving it feels like death. But sometimes the thing that built you is the very thing you've outgrown. And if you're honest, you've known that for a while. So the real question isn't whether you can keep going, it's whether continuing is actually courage or just familiarity. The only real question is how much longer are you willing to tolerate it? If this hits a little too close to home, I built something for you. It's a free 2-minute quiz that'll show you exactly what you've been tolerating. Link is in the description. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Cheers.